see my face like this now in a 3D view. Come on. Oh man, I'm so ready, so early to get this macadamia here. Okay, good. Hopefully it's YouTube. That was very strange. Oh god, that's so annoying. And hopefully YouTube. Did he answer me on Twitter though? Oh man. So I tried to stream, right? I thought on YouTube, I don't spam thing. I tried to stream, and for whatever reason, this 3D 60 setting you can have like a panorama vision on YouTube was set, and I couldn't turn it off either. Like I couldn't turn it off. I went into the YouTube settings. I was like, turn off, and the button wouldn't move. The button would not be. I could not turn off the 360. It was super weird. And then when I rebooted my computer, then I entered my streaming device, right? And on my streaming device, you can pick on that one to if you want to have like a 360 view or not. But that button then was like checked on and blue. You couldn't turn it off either. So I was like, what? So for whatever reason, so I never even used that functionality before, right? On YouTube in the first live stream half an hour ago, I just could not turn it off. But now then we're doing another live stream here. Yeah, I took away the other one, and I put it on private though. I don't know if the one thinking maybe I'll back test it. I don't know. But yeah, here we are. Hopefully it won't be a problem because I used it in the similar title and so on. But my cache is probably really bad for SEO, but whatever. It looks fine now, I hope. And it's really strange too because that was only on YouTube, not my actual setting, right? So if I would watch my own recording, right, like how it looks for me when I'm recording, it looked perfectly fine, right? Because it was only on YouTube where the YouTube then like forced it to be 360 views. It wasn't forced like on my, for me personally, right? So super strange. But anyway, sorry for that. Here we are, My Academia. We're gonna redo. I mean, I only saw like the first. I got yeah. So during the reaction, I mean, I got my intro, and then I was got to the opening, right? And I was gonna do like just during the opening, I should read the chat and so on, right? And I was like, yeah, what's happening? Yeah, I was like, well, yeah, it looks really weird. Yeah, and then I was like, okay, this looks really, really weird, and I couldn't turn it off, and very annoying because I kept trying to like. Yeah, it didn't matter if I entered the YouTube setting and so on. Yeah, I couldn't remove that setting. Like super weird. And yeah, I wrote to them some answer on Twitter, but really, they were like just to redo it, restart everything. I don't know. Hopefully this works now. Then it looks good now. But yeah, let's do it. My Academia, episode 91. Then reaction and so on. So yeah, so. Let's go back to the beginning here. So my favorite, yeah, very annoying, but it's my favorite character, right? Goddamn Shinso, right? My favorite character. I think it's the best backstory. I think he has the, the interesting backstory, right, of being the ostracized hero guy, right, with the mind control powers. And I like it, it's an interesting power, right? How he's like, oh, I can't use my, everyone hates him because of his powers. He wants to be a good guy, right? I really like that, and I like the whole idea that the testing, the exams, is. It's really bad, right? Like the exam itself is, yeah, it's horrible. Like the exam is like, oh, we tested only on mechas. So it's like, well, but and actually, I don't know how Invincible got. How did she pass? There is a plot hole here. How did some people actually beat these mechas? There's a plot hole on that, but see, certainly, as Sensei said, that testing is horrible because some powers are useless against mechas, where his powers would be awesome against all the bad guys. Because in this anime, right, it's like in Marvel, you have a lot of like Ultron and Vision and so on, all of androids, right, and aliens and so on, like mecha aliens. But this anime, they all have mutant powers, quirks, but there are very few, like cyborgs or just pure androids, right? So. Yeah, his powers would be awesome against all the bad guys, because all the bad guys are, just mutants, right? This is like an android bad guy. Not so far, at least. So, yeah, he should be powerful. Anyway, let's start watching it, finally. So, 3, 2, 1, and go. Of course, again, sorry for the weird first live stream. I do blame it on YouTube, though, honestly, because, yeah, I didn't do anything different, right? It just, like, zoomed into my face, 3D view. You could, like, zoom around and see, basically, this screen, like, really zoomed in. And yeah, so I only saw the first minute, right? Yeah, the first minute. Yeah, I didn't get to the opening. Didn't even get over the opening, man. But it looks fine now, right? But yeah, now it's a new live stream here after I rebooted and everything. Turned off and... it was really strange. I could... It's so weird too when I'm entering... But yeah, sorry I not... Because I mean now it's just... This is... I mean I saw that it's just recap and it's opening, right? I just got through the opening, right? I saw the first... Yeah, I got the first minute. Let me see Froppy and so on. Yeah, so here we go. Here's how I was last time at the opening. Man, it's so frustrating because I really want to watch the episode, you know. I'm really hyped specifically my favorite character. And that's the problem by doing... Yeah. This is the problem though by doing, you know, live reaction and so on. It really is, right? Because I mean compared to anything else in life, is because you want to watch an anime, right? And of course it's fun to do. I think it's fun to do live reaction. You want to watch anime and so on, but then it's like, oh, suddenly the streaming is bugged out or something happens, right? And you're like, oh yeah, because I think for some people they do reactions or whatever, right? And they don't care. You know how I feel about those shield reactions, right? You know what I mean? But I actually really like this anime, right? And this is my favorite character. So yes, I would be like, I want to watch this anime, right? So it's like half annoying because I was very early out, right? I want to do this live reaction to this episodes out. So I was very like, yeah, let's go everyone, you know. And at the same time, I'm also like, god damn it, actually, I also used to genuinely want to watch the episode. I'm just like, come on, I want to watch the goddamn anime. It's very frustrating there. And because I work with IT, mostly, right? It's frustrating seeing bugs too in that sense. But I have to say though, I don't know how to fix the bug because it's just like, the button's just stuck there. So I don't know how YouTube would like... I mean, maybe you can find some bug. We can do my logs or something. Maybe the YouTube guys can. I have my customers need to be. Maybe they could go on the look at the logs or whatever. 2 jobs back, I used to read a lot of log files. I was a lead designer, but also QA manager on and off. So I used to read all the log files of all the data log files, and it's pretty easy to find those bugs usually if you just can read all the code. But anyway, still recapping here, but come on. Here we go, okay. Finally, here we go. Episode starts. I'm finally here, man. I was some goddamn academia. Yes, your crook is very potent. See, Froppy's like, yes, powerful guy. But he maybe is lying, I don't know. Maybe he could evolve his power thing, right? I mean, he got his vocal modification now, right? So. Persona, okay. I'm going so mask here, man. I'm gonna summon my personas. So he can... We saw it last week, I can copy their voice and he can... Yeah, it's a voice modifier, the voice changer. I do love that the cage has the principal though on the cage, yeah. Happy principal on the cage. But what I want to see him is fighting more with the scarf though. I want to see him doing the, the sensei fighting style, right? So we saw this last week then, he's gonna trick them with the voice modifier. Yeah, and answer his... I didn't say that. Yeah, so you got the beast power. Make it happen, shit! It's a good title though, I like a title, yeah. I wanted the Young Class A, right? Come on! Young Class A, everyone! What happens now then? Can he control him if he's in the air prison? Ooh, nice animation there. But yeah, I feel like, do you want to hold this guy? He's like, ah, he's like, exactly. Yeah, I was like, do you want to grab that guy? No, he's like a living, yeah, man. It's like, it's like, come on, man. It felt like, you don't want to touch that guy. Floppy attack. Man, she's so goddamn cute, she fights. They really have good animations this episode. Much better than the kind of filler episodes or so. The Deku believes. It's gonna push it. Yeah, it's gonna just go harder. I'm just gonna push it harder, okay, of course. My strategy is push it harder! Oh, it's actually up! Let's push it more! Okay, good. Okay, I push it more. Good strategy. It's like, well, what if I punch more? Yeah, okay. What can he do then? Tiny friends? Oh yeah, it's all insects, right? And of course, it's hardening even harder. The metal pot strategy. He ignores them? So the beast guy is actually quite agile and everything, strong and okay. He just goes tiny. So actually, Beast is actually quite potent and really potent. He survived, the excuse. Yeah, like he managed to get through everything, right? Oh, yeah, and she's very powerful. We know her with her wine powers are like super powerful. See, what is happening? Everyone's gonna lose except Shinso, right? Shinso can win by herself. Come on, what's gonna happen here is the other three are gonna lose, right? So Shinso is like, I gotta carry them, So he has to shine. Exactly, yeah. They're gonna capture them, right? So now Shinso has to shine because it's his episode. It's like, I can take care of it myself. Come on. So he can shine being the best hero he can be, right? The true hero he deserves to be. Yeah, so gonna capture him. No, god damn it. He's all like, yes! Floppy kissed me! Exactly! That was like a kiss basically, of course. Yeah, he's like, I got kissed by Floppy basically. God damn it, man. Oh yeah, he's very biased, of course. He's a class B guy. Yeah, Vlad King is. Yeah, you want a fair broadcast. Class B's teacher is very biased, obviously. It's like, yeah, clearly Class B's in the lead. They're better morale and they're better trained. Yeah, clearly, they're stronger students. It's like, yeah, of course. Nah, it's just pretending, probably. Come on. Time for she to shine that. Here we go. Come on, boy. He's gonna shine now. It's strategy, right? Come on. He's the best character. He's a brain character. Come on. It's not. So you can't speak normally now without the. I guess you can't like speak normally without this mod now. He's like, I injured a lot. I feel coming out, it's like, I am used to breaking my shoulder, so it's like, don't worry, man. It happens to me every time we fight. It's like, yeah, I get broken all the time. It's like, man, this poor guy. Here we go. I wanna be a true hero. Man, this is all cute now. I don't wanna be a hero. I mean, yeah, kinda. Come on, she's being Sundra. Yeah, I mean, yeah, I kinda can't. Yeah, I mean, she's a whole messiah, you know. Flogging, exactly. A very pious character, definitely. Very pious. And he's always like a shiny zombie. Like he's cool. Man, Beast is very powerful. I can smell Floppy coming too. So he's like, I can. I'm very powerful. I'm strong. I'm fast. I can tiny. Oh yeah, because she like licked them all. She got under her saliva, right? Yeah, she used the saliva strategy, I guess, so they can use his power against him. And her vine powers here are very powerful. Yeah, Shinso of course even gets the eye catcher here. But again, I think he's gonna join class A, right? Because he has so much screen time now. It's like, come on, it's always be weird. Oh, so even back then, episode 13, like 10 years ago, she was like, I can do this thing too, guys. Okay. Exactly, my stomach. Yeah, so you can secrete, yeah, slime and so on. Exactly. I mean, it was pretty obvious. They're covering her slime, right? They're covered in her slime, which makes them smell like her and so on, right? Of course. It's a very proper strategy here. Covering stuff in her frog slime so we can like... Man, I need more of her adorable text now, come on. We need more of her like, yes, my tracker! I still think that's gonna be the day you're gonna lose out of Shinso Tavin himself, right? So he's gonna shine, come on. He's very powerful, definitely, the beast, yeah. He still knows where they're coming from, though. Even if you can't tell who he is, he can still tell where they are, though. So it's like, it's kinda good, but I mean, he knows where they are generally, right? So you can't like sneak up on him, though, regardless. Here comes her wine magic. Oh man, there's a kind of CGI stuff coming here. Oh man, she's probably one of the more powerful students to have, right? With her, yeah, like some kind of massive vine ability. And usually, I mean, plant kind of abilities are powerful, right? Like in Naruto Stone, yeah, plant abilities are, yeah. Yeah, so I mean, even if you can't tell who it is, he's like, well, go those directions. Yeah, he can still tell her to who to attack, right? Okay, very important for him to be like, this is my actual title though, okay. I better know what this zombie guy can do though. Well, he's a hopping vampire, I guess, but whatever. He finally sees the tracker. Okay. He wants to be pulled in. His strategy of coming to hurry to get captured every time and use electrocute people. But he tried his last time with her, right? Can he finally get revenge since the tournament arc? I feel he already lost her with his one strategy. Yeah, like he tried it last time and didn't work. Maybe some new strategy this time. It's like I prepared for my revenge for years for this. Now he hopefully has some revenge strategy. Nice. See? He's like, yes, I can do this thing now. Or he gets old anyway. God damn it! I feel sorry for him. God, this all. Yeah, I feel sorry for his scales. A poor guy, man. The poor guy, man. He's owned by a wine lady again here. There we go, though. Yes, his voice. That wasn't my voice. There we go. There we go. Shinso, bam. Sneaks in there. Very nice. See, he's so strategic. Like, I always want to be catched. It's like, I'm like a living nuclear power thing. Okay, it's a great strategy. It's like, okay, that's the same time again, man. Every time he's like, yeah. Yeah. Well, yeah, he wants revenge, right? Poor guy. It's like, yeah. Come on, he wants revenge. Well, here we go, yeah. Shinso finally gets a shine here by capturing her. Can he utilize her to beat her? I still expect him to actually, you know, evolve his mental powers to eventually, right? To make it some mind blast or whatever. Yeah, no one can talk. They're afraid to talk, right? That's gonna be the power then. If everyone's afraid to talk, to like, yeah, it's like, yeah, it's kind of like a Mega Man kind of handsome, man. No, you can't talk because then if you talk, there's some nice addition there, yeah. Like there's some much better animations episode than the previous episodes. Yeah, the ones that still has to be him, right? Hiding somewhere. See, this is actually, yeah, like they're actually really adding in some animation here. But now things are gonna fight with his scarf, right? It's gonna be like, I can fight like Sensei now. Here we go, come on, let's show some what he can do then with the Aizawa training. Here we go, Eraserhead! How this thing works, but yeah, he can fight with this thing now, come on. Yeah, then bam! Got my got my cloth fighting techniques. You know, my mentor taught me how to fight with clothing. It's like, yeah. But then this guy is freaking tough, man. Then this beast guy is freaking is very, very resilient. Now that he actually is behind him. Come on. He's actually is gonna be behind him, right? It's like, I'm behind you. Wait, you're behind me? Yeah, that's how nice finish it. Man, Subi's got a cute episode. But that's good with his power, they can't talk anymore. It's like, I don't listen to his tracks. Yeah, that's good with his power state that they can't talk anymore. They're too afraid to answer the conversation. Oh. This definitely feel kind of. The episode was so much slow paced, right? They're like, yes, Deku, explain to us your strategy. The view saw. Deku is like, let me iterate. What you saw here in my book, yes, they communicated and they had strategy. You're like, thank you, Deku, but you saw it happening like a minute ago. But yes, we just had them explain your strategy before, Deku. You don't need to explain it to us again, right? A little bit like, okay. Yeah, so he of course has the Eraserhead abilities, right? He would obviously have beaten Deku in that fight if he had the Eraserhead weapon. Yeah, it's pushed Deku off, right? See, I wanna be a hero. Hopefully he can beat Deku next fight. Yeah, come on. Become a true hero. Exactly. True hero time. Come on. And they win, of course, with the... Okay, she's still knocked out of the mental... Yeah, how do I get in here? Yeah. Oh, that happened! Of course, because she's all like, you know, oh no! I have failed my divine! Of course, he's very much like, no! My fate! You're really too strong. Sui's very supportive. Yeah, she's very supportive. Well, I mean, most bad guys are gonna lose immediately, not knowing his powers, but... He's a proud sensei there, come on. Personally mentored him. But hopefully Shinso can then get revenge on that goddamn Deku too, man. That... Yeah, goddamn main character in his plot armor. I wanna see him beating him, right? Come on. Definitely. Whew. But yeah, sorry again for the first reaction. I mean, I blame you two for it. Oh, honestly, I mean, sometimes it might be my fault, right? Because technology issues or whatever. But this time it really was like I couldn't turn off the 360 views. But that's a good episode, so yeah. Feels unfortunate that this was like half an hour delayed and I had to redo the streaming and everything because, you know, I am yes, Shinso is, as I say every week, he genuinely is my favorite character, so like it's, you know, I want to see my Shinso action, right? But it was nice how he defeated them, and I hope he can decorate, get that revenge. Of course, we're gonna review it now. I'm gonna see if there may be some after ending credits. I'm just a little paranoid because I watched I'm just watching the, you know, it looks fine on the stream. You get a little paranoid when you do a lot of live streams because, I mean, every now and then some bug hits you, right? You know, sometimes the sound doesn't work for whatever reason, or it's like no light or something, and yeah, whatever, right? Or like it doesn't, we should stop streaming for some reason. Probably the most common issue probably is that the stream just suddenly stops if they restart it. Like that's probably what's a common issue. But anyway, yeah, you get paranoid because it happens like once a month to you. So here we go, preview. I like Momo in her new mantle. Very heroic of her. Of course, she knows her, you know, fellow girl there. She used to be a model with her. Yeah. No, they're gonna fight with Dark Shadow and so on. Against Shadow Guy. More on HAWSK than these bad guys. Plus Ultra! But I guess they're gonna have the next Shinso fight much later, right? So again, yeah, sorry for that thing. Let's review it a little bit later, of course, than was hoped to be. Yeah, and I was super early too. I was like ready exactly when the episode dropped to. I was like, man, I want to watch the meal, right? Macadamia, here we go, Saturday morning. And I was like, oh yeah, no, it doesn't work. Goddamn frustrating. But let's review it. What's the best scene, baby? What's the best scene? Honestly, my Shinso, man. Talk about the best boy coming in for revenge. It's kind of nice scene here. It's a cool scene when you kind of meet the beast, right? Yeah, let's talk about it. So, let's review the episode. Episode 91 or episode season 4. Season 5, I mean. Season 5, episode 4, I mean, yeah. My Academia, obviously.僕のヒーローアカデミア. Great episode. I think the animation, first of all, you said it. I think the animation really stood out this episode. I mean, obviously we know that Bones can do good animation. We've seen the early seasons, right? And it wasn't the best they've done. It wasn't like, you know, the tournament final thing or like, you know, the boss kind of fights or whatever. So it wasn't the best thing, but I think it was the Sakaga moments were clearly a lot higher than at least the previous episodes by far. Like this scene here, it just kind of looks better, right? It kind of enters and we kind of see the smoke coming. Yeah, I felt a lot. Yeah, this episode here I felt a lot more real than the previous 3 episodes, which is kind of like which did come off as quite slow pace, kind of like, okay, episode 1 is a filler episode, and even 2 and 3 was kind of like, oh, getting a tournament or nothing doesn't really start yet. This here feels like now we're really getting into this season, right? Last episode was kind of the build up, and now we're actually fighting, and we see the new powers and so on. But also from like an animation standpoint, just visually much more appealing. I think this thing was great, and kind of a floppy enter there, kind of the floppy kick and so on, you know, like all that looked way better. Usually the running animation, everything kind of looked better, I suppose. But I think probably the floppy scene, like this thing, and also I like how they added in, you know, kind of that graphic, kind of that like dump, kind of that kind of graphical extra text and so on. They can get into that, right? That is looked way better when you kind of, you know, they're adding in this thing, kind of graphic on the side. And so forth, right? So it's a lot of like a lot better just scenes and like screen captures or whatever you want to call it, right? But anyway, so the graphics way better this episode. I think it was way better. But I think unfortunately it's because, of course I said earlier, but episode 1 per season is also like a filler for season 3, I think, or even 2. At least 4 and 3 also had a filler episode 1, right? So you do kind of feel like, okay, they kind of you know, drop something out there to kind of fill out the time, try to kind of get in there. But anyway, let's talk about the best boy then. Shinso finally gets a win, right? I like that he's not just, you know, overly confident, right? He's the mind control guy, but he's like, oh, I'm not that used to fighting, and maybe this could go wrong, and he has some self-doubt and so on. That makes sense. It's realistic. He's a little afraid of fighting. He's a little, he's a little too afraid of actually getting into the action, or, you know, blames himself for the issue and so on. So that's good. That's great. Yeah, he's somewhat too afraid of doing stuff to some extent, and you know, he doesn't really trust his own abilities a little bit, right? And you know, doesn't have much experience, I guess, fighting with other heroes, right? I don't mean what's what I mean, you know, with teammates. I mean, with teammates. He's been trained by a sensei, of course, in secret. Kind of mentored him, but that was still only, I guess, those two, right? Hasn't really been, you know, fighting with like Floppy or whatever, right? To come using like teammates in that sense. But I think that's also yet another reason why he is probably gonna join either A or B, right? Probably A then, so you can see him growing as a person, right? He kind of learning how to fight with other people and so on, and you know, team ups and friendship and that stuff. As I said last week, I really do think it's gonna join Class A because I'm biased, of course, but I think it's going to join Class A, just from like a narrative author standpoint, right? Because if the author is going to spend this much time on this character, like we're introducing him, giving him his own episode, like Shinso you can do it, giving him like this whole, you know, mini arc here, right? It feels it would be really weird, I would say, really weird if the author isn't like, oh, I'm not going to use him again. You know what I mean? Like he gets like 3-4 episodes and then it's like out again. That would be really strange. He might go on Class B, but I think because he has so much screen time, and I think he has one of the best stories, right? He's probably going to go on Class A, right? So yeah, he actually get much more screen time. I would think so. But regardless, yeah, he has to go either A or B, right? It's from like a narrative standpoint, or else it feels kind of pointless spending like. He has like 2 episodes now to himself, right? And a previous backstory episode too. It's like his 3rd or 4th episode all on him now. So he has a lot of screen time for a character that would not then join, right? So from that standpoint, like, yeah, it would be really strange otherwise. And I said last week too, I was iterating that point, but I think it makes sense that by adding a new character to the class, you get a new dynamic, right? So there's like a reason that part. I can't remember the name of the thing now, but you talk about the 4 phases of like a school class or like a workplace or whatever, like a cultural hierarchy. So first you have one phase which kind of everyone just meets. You have phase 2 when you kind of everyone fights. You have phase 3 when you kind of get much better. Phase 4 is like you kind of have the hierarchy set, right? Very loosely explained there, but it's like 4 phases of team building or whatever. And but however though, phase 4 might not everyone hates it. No one is friends, but basically the 4th phase is like hierarchy set, right? At like a high school would be like, this is the queen bee cheerleader, you know, the jock quarterback, they're on the top of the school and the nerds on the bottom. There's a hierarchy, right? It doesn't have to be like a good hierarchy. And that's phase 4 there. But every time you introduce a new person to this social construct, that those 4 phases will happen again, right? Or if you remove a character or a person, right, at workplace or whatever. So at the typical high school, right, if you have a new like transfer student, then that person is gonna have to, find their place in the hierarchy. Bakugo is very angry, you know what I mean? Everyone kind of likes Deku, so then Shinso is gonna have to find his place, right? So they have to like iterate over these 4 phases of, personality and characterization and so on. Of course, it's an anime, so you probably skip over most of that stuff. But you know what I mean? By adding a new student, basically, you will have to kind of go over, okay, how will he be? Is he the popular new student, right? Is he the not popular in the class? Will he have a love interest? Will, Deku be his best new friend, right? You know what I mean? Like, Sue is super friendly to him this episode. She's a very nice person, but, I ship them, and now, you know what I mean? Will it be like, oh, because Sue is all like, oh, you're doing great, she's all like super nice and friendly to him. Yeah, she's all like, oh, I'm very impressed by you. You're very, let's ship them right now, but you know what I mean, right? By adding a new character to the class, which actually never been done before, I think it's interesting because it's episode 91 now. We're at episode 91. We've had this class since what episode, like 5? Is that episode 5 or 6? When do we have episode 4 is when they do the exam. Episode 5, I think, yeah. They never changed the class since episode 5. No one has left the class. I mean, Bakugo, no one's actually left. Someone was kidnapped, no one actually left the class. And no one has entered the class, right? Unless I'm completely missing out. No, but I mean, people have been like, removed temporarily from the class because of issues, right? But nothing has like actually left or re-entered. So yeah, throwing in like a new character here can, create some new dynamics, and it had to be like a romantic storyline. But for example, right, maybe Sue falls in love with him for argument's sake, because it's like they have the same team and it's super easy to, how will that then, alter the other dynamics? Will Urika be like, oh, Sue is the boyfriend, should I date Deku now, and so on, right? I'm not saying it's gonna happen, I'm just saying that, these are all storylines that could happen, right, that we haven't really seen before in the anime, just because they have never changed classmates. If anything, it's kind of strange that they've never done it in so many episodes. The more thinking was like, holy shit, man, My Hero Academia has been going for 91 episode, and in 87 episode, they never changed the classmates at all. That's like super very, very stable class, man, for being heroes. I mean, I read a lot of Marvel I read all the Marvel comics for 30-40 years, right? And I have hundreds of Marvel comics. And like in Marvel, when they have the different classes, right? Like, for example, Avengers Initiative, after the 50 state program they had in the Avengers level, it's about like new people with new powers being trained by like I guess Ant-Man, but thanks to Iron Man, I guess. Whatever. They change classmates all the time. they get like they're fighting bad guys and they die, right? Or someone gets in, or they get a new classmate, and someone gets new powers, and or someone loses their powers, right? But it's very Marvel too. Someone like gets like dequirked, right? They lose their powers permanently and they have to replace them, or maybe they return with like a mecha suit or something, like straight up, with Beacon's the one. Beacon and Angela, they lose their powers, then they return with like exoskeleton suits 3 years later, and so on. That's very, very Marvel. If someone loses their power in Marvel, they always either get better powers by some Terriga mist or something, right? Or they get like a mecha suit so they can still fight, right? It's very, very Marvel. But anyway, the point is that in Marvel they probably would have changed half the class by now, right? Sue probably would be a real frog now, and Deku probably would have 10 more powers, and some other half the cat would be dead probably. Or it would be like a clone or something. Yeah, like Urika would have like a clone. It would be like 3 Urikas, like Urika, old Urika, young Urika, and like evil clone Urika. That would be Marvel, and they will all be in the same class, like and it would be dynamic. Yeah, Marvel doesn't too much. But here in Academia, that's why I also want him to join the class, right? Is because I want to see a little bit changes to the dynamics, right? Like maybe, I don't know, random point, him and Sue, why not, right? Anyway, let's talk about the last part here. I will say one thing though, which I feel a little bit like seeing the preview and so on, and I heard this thing. I mean, I had me on it, right? I do feel a little bit though, to be honest here, that after I have Shinso, right, my favorite boy character, Miyuko was my favorite character, but my wife, but after Shinso, I have to say I love this anime, one of my favorite animes, right, but I have to say a little bit like, okay, next week it's like, bird guy gets new powers. It's a little bit like, I don't care that much anymore. I mean, maybe it's gonna be an amazing, school tournament or kind of thing here, perhaps. But I have to say, a little bit, I feel like Shinso is clearly, I think, the golden goose, right, of this kind of this arc, getting like a retro character, what do you call it? Reintroduced character, he's back again, right? He wanna be a hero and so on. That has more of a backstory, it's more of a journey, it's more of a character development. Like he's like unsure, but Sue supports him, right? He gets a little more confidence. That's more of a character growth, I feel, as well, right? More of a storyline generally, and also the thought about might change the dynamics, just so on it. But otherwise, yeah, I don't know. Like I feel these other storylines now aren't much of storylines. Right? It's like, oh, he's gonna have a new power. Okay, I mean, I'm excited to see them fight, right? But I had to say here before, honestly, that I hope they're gonna kind of quickly go over the other students, show the new powers, then get to the next arc with the actual, bad guys and HAWSK and so on, right? And Endower, that actual storyline, and Darby and the actual storyline, because yeah, Shinji has an actual character arc, right? But all the other students, they're basically just training, getting stronger, right? Like what is his arc here? Like he has a new power. I mean, it might be a really good episode, but I'm just saying, like a little bit. I don't feel that the anime has really built up the other characters, so it does feel like right now we're getting into tournament arc, but it isn't really a tournament arc. It's like a group tournament arc, but not really. And I think the problem is probably that there's no stakes on this thing. You know what I mean? This arc is like Shinsu is the important part. He gets reintroduced. He gets this journey, the heroic journey, right? But the other characters has no stake on this because they're not fighting in front of a crowd. But last time they were fighting against Class B in this actual tournament arc. You know what I mean? An actual tournament arc, right? And I would love a group tournament arc like in Black Clover. Why not? I love that in Black Clover. They have a lot of group fights. That's great. You don't have to be a single tournament arc. That's awesome. But I do that. But that is clearly a thing here now that there is no stakes on these actual fights. It doesn't really matter who wins or loses. There is no crowd, right? There is no like, oh, if I win this thing, these scouts are gonna, hire me, or I'm gonna get a better occupation. I'm gonna, my hero ranks gonna go up, right? Because otherwise, when they do have tournament arc, it to some degree, right, it's similar to like a sport, sport game, right? If you wanna be a star football player or whatever, right? You always have scouts there that scouting you to get to the next college, right? So you get like a free college or so on, right? To get you into, the best quarterback. He gets paid and goes to Harvard or that kind of stuff, right? That stake is there, right? And of course, then in the classic tournament arc, all the heroes wants to show off, right? Or Hatsume show her stuff and so on, right? Because they can get more money and so on. But here it's like, it's like 4 or 5 cents in watching them, and they're just kind of training. So so I think that's the problem now. I have to say, right? I'm very negative now, but I feel that's a little issue here. Even with Shinso's little issue, because like there's no stakes, right? Shinso gets his tournament, he gets his like revenge for the tournament arc. That's happened now halfway through. I guess later he's gonna fight Deku, probably, right? So that's like probably the end of this arc, and that's gonna be interesting to see. But everything in between that is kind of like just the kids fighting with new powers. But there's no one actually mad. But it doesn't matter if they win or lose, right? It only actually matters when Shinso fights. That's the thing, right? Because Shinso is the guy that's trying to get into class A or B, probably A, right? So he's the only guy that actually matters if he wins or loses, right? So now Shinsu won, which is great. So he probably gets to class A, right? Because he won. But it doesn't matter if Bird wins, right? It doesn't matter if Bakugo wins. It doesn't actually relate to the storyline, right? Because they're all already in the class. So I think that's a little weird thing with this storyline that I think is pretty clear now after Shinsu already won here, right? Yeah, like the other fights doesn't really matter. They don't. They're gonna show, of course, new powers. That's gonna be relevant later when they fight the bad guys. But I mean, there's no stakes. They don't have to win, right? Shinso was the only character that his life actually changed by winning. So I do think that's kind of strange. But maybe I'm wrong. Maybe they're gonna add something new. But I think it's fair to say that, Shinso had his heroic journey, right? His like character development journey. But the older characters has no journey here. They only have like, here's my new power. You see, it might be a really cool fight, but I'm just like, wait, why am I watching this fight for? A little bit like that, So I'm just gonna say that No, I mean, obviously I'm very biased to like Shinso, but I was like, I was realizing, you know, sometimes I do reviews and I gave my, I reflect over stuff, right? I gave my, my shower tier just kind of pops up, right? I was like, no other character matters in this tournament work. They don't, because it's like, if they lose or win, they have the same job, they have the same occupation, they have the same salary, right? Doesn't actually matter that much. Only Shinso matters. Not because I like Shinso, but he's the only guy that actually can advance in his life by winning, so that's a little strange. But anyway, yeah, negative point. No, but I mean, I want to see the next fight, so I'm just saying, like, wait, you know, arguably, maybe Shinso's fight should have been later, because his fight is the high stake fight. But I guess it's gonna be 2 fights. So I think the last fight and the first fight is gonna be Alpha and Omega. It's gonna be. I would definitely bet that the last fight in this class battle here is gonna be Shinso again. It's probably gonna be the first and the last fight. That's probably what's gonna happen. That makes sense to me from like a new structure of the narration, right? But anyway, guys, that's My Academia. Sorry again for the weird start there. Yeah, 3D 60 view setting, very, very strange. Now then, today it's a lot of animes, so I don't know what to do really. So many animes, and some of them are really good, and some are like, but my favorite though, I said immediately here, right? I said last week too. My favorite of all the new anime today is definitely Nagatoro-san. That was amazing, you know. Don't bully me, Nagatoro. That was super fun. That was easily my favorite of last week. Otherwise, I mean, I like Vivi, but that's where I watched 3 episodes. Otherwise, maybe Tokyo Revengers, because I like the link with the Yankees, so it's kind of erased with Yankees or something. But yeah, Slime was kind of funny and so on. It was pretty funny. But I'll see you guys with a lot more anime today. Episode 1 Saturday has a lot of animes, and of course ends with One Piece, of course, in the end. I think the last part of Roger's flashback, I think, today. Then we get the Orochi flashback, which is like, yay, that's gonna be fun.